Well, good evening. The Who's today were on at Wyong, and yesterday, of course, it was a Australian Turf Club meeting at Newcastle. I didn't attend the Newcastle meeting as it just was going to be too much to be. You can't be into going and spending hours and hours on the form and going to meetings, and I had to brush Newcastle. But very quickly on that meeting, when you do the form for Newcastle, as everybody saw, the inside was completely and utterly gone. The track lent to swoopers. If you're back in the field and off the fence, you had a huge advantage. The track was good there yesterday at the coalfield, in the coalfields, Newcastle. And there was a good three, and the rail was in the normal position. The wind was out of the southeast, which could have had an effect on leaders, but I tend to think that it was more the track and the inside section. You couldn't be up near the lead on the fence and hope to win. So when you do the form, you have to take that into your calculations. Do your best. There's no start given. Today at Wyong, the track played fair. You could, although just let me have a quick look here. Yes, there were leaders that won. The track played fair. It was a good three. The rail was out 2 metres from the 1350 to the 210 where the cutaway came into play. Of course, going into the cutaway is just, as everybody knows, just like running off the track. And the wind was out of the southeast, which didn't have any effect on any of the runners. And as I say, these rotten 2KYs of mine. And as I say, the track played fair. Now, the first race was won by the Avery. He gave it a beautiful ride, Christian Reef. There was 107.6 on the screen. That was about right. The only difference was the Avery, instead of being $2.60 as the best luck, there was $2.70. Not much difference, very little difference. But there was $2.70 available at the track. It's always better at the track. We all know that. And as I say, it was given a great ride by Christian Reef. He sat one off the fence just in behind the pace, eased across, got a split. It sat 3 wide outside the leaders, Master Shep, and he was able to get in between it and the 2 leaders turning for home, and he was a bit too strong. I suppose you can make a bit of a case for the unraced horse, Unimpeachable, number 14, ridden by Jovial Josh Parr. He even though he was behind the winner, well, not behind the winner, but behind 3 back on the fence, he was slightly held up. The horse raced very greenly, and I think with a little bit of luck, it possibly could have won. It was beaten a length, and next start, of course, it will go around most probably favourite if it starts at the provincials, and will be hard to beat. The others more or less had their chance. As I say, Master Shep number 6, it sat wide. The second race, there was 111.7 on the screen. Now, the notable difference here to the marketplace was, well, first of all, the Avery grabbed the jewels, $2.30 best luck. Well, there was $2.50 available at the track. And of course, number 2, Happy Jones, who didn't have a price. It went from $5 out to $8, best luck $7. It chased the leader, grabbed the jewels, and it pulled up with thumps, Happy Jones. So it, I suppose, had excuses. Now, Grab the Jewels, as all of Gay's horses, and of course Tommy Berry, you ride for that camp. All you do, as you know, is one thing, is go forward, my young boy. And he went forward all right. He set this horse a bit of a task, I thought. He ran along, was having a second start, going from a mile or 1,500 up to 2,100 metres today. And going down the side after they went out of the straight, of course, he had to run into that little sou'easter. It could have taken the edge off it, and he was rolling along, and as I say, at a nice solid pace with the second pick, Happy Jones, who didn't have a price, tagging him. And when they got to the 600, he said, well, come on, we'll see what you got here. And he left Happy Jones standing and got a 3 lengths break. And he might have even been about 3 lengths clear turning for home, but he was going up and down in the one spot after they turned for home, and went into the cutaway. No more for the favourite, please. And as they turned for home, coming from about 6th position was the winner. No, it was the second horse, and getting on its back coming to the turn was the winner. Love the Beaches won the race, and it got onto the back of Osbury Miss. Osbury Miss would have been a great result for the captains. It went from about $12 or $13 out to $16 Osbury Miss, whereas Love the Beaches, it was well back, went up $8, got out to $9.50 I gave for plenty of section, and it only started $8, and it was able to grab Osbury Miss on the line and beat it by 0.1 of a length. The favourite, it just held on for third hole, beaten 4.1 lengths. It'll be improved, it'll be well in the market next time it goes around, most probably at the provincials or a Canterbury meeting, and I suppose it will run all right with those 2,100 metres under its ham and eggs. But they were a team of trotters, really. Race 3, we had 105.1 on the screen. What you wouldn't see, of course, was number 1. I think the best luck was 460, but there was a mile of $5. And of course, number 2, Systems, who didn't have a price. It was $3.50 out to $6.50, 5 to 2 to 11 to 2. I think the best luck was $5.50, but it was $6.50. I was laying it at that price, but only for small section. And Finelli didn't really have a price. It went from $3.50 out to $4.60. Lucello Rosso, there was $10, $11 taken. Next runner didn't have a price. Weehoo went from 17 to 31. Al Cabin, it was hard to lay really, although no, it was backed towards the finish at $4.20, but it still got out to $4.60. It was $4.20 taken at one stage, $3.50 to $4.20 taken, but into $4, back to $4.60. Beauty Can Hurry, good result for the captains. It went from $12 out to $19, and the bottom one, Syrian Lioness, who never passed a runner, was $51 into $31. Good result for the captains. The figures were a little bit skinnier than it appeared on the screen, and Beauty Can Hurry. Al Cabin went straight to the lead here. When he got to the lead, he sat up on it, and Beauty Can Hurry was on its outside, ridden by the 3 Kilo girl. She didn't want to go past it because she had it travelled sweetly for her, the winner. It was on its outside, and they more or less walked to the 600, and then the race was on from there, and it was able to hold on and win Beauty Can Hurry after getting past Al Cabin, who jarred up on the track and pulled up lame, and it was up to the top weight Wonder Gal, who was on the winner's back to try and run it down, but it couldn't. And it was a fairly ordinary performance by it. It came from well back in the field. And Finelli, who had the concussion plates on today, making up plenty of ground. But I think the form out of that race is fairly ocean liner. Now, the 4th race, they said there was 105.6 on the screen, and there was a little bit less in the marketplace. And this was a great result for the captains. I'm talking about the favourite, 8 Strikes. It went up 6 to 4, and it got to $3.50. It was unlayable in the ring. What did they back in the race? Oh, well, they took $7 about Sensing, number 7, having its first start in the race into 6, opened up 650, got out to 7, back into 650. The next runner was well back, number 8, Stone Age, who opened up about $9, got out to 11, back into about 8. The next runner was extremely well backed, Street Art. it was $17 into $9. The next runner, Texas Ranger, we had to get it to $15.14 before it was back to laid some good bets against it. How was it going to win? The next runner, it was extremely well back. Motoring Melody, we got opened up 17, got to 26, only started $13, halved its price. The next runner was a bit hard to lay until it got to the $7 Sparkling Sky. We only put it up 350, 5 to 2 second pick, but it got to 7 back into 650. The next runner was back. Cheers Rowena, the thing that led up in the good race at it led in the good race at Wyong last start. It was 11 out to 15, back into about 11, and the bottom one, Kibwe, never had a price from about 15 out to 19, and it was made a bit of use of 8 strikes from barrier 12, but it found the lead and the fence, and it held on. The horse that sat on its outside finished up running second, and that was Street Art, but the winner was a little bit too strong for it, and coming from back in the field, making up a bit of ground, was Stone Age. It ran third, beaten 1.8 lengths. Of course, the winner came out of the good form race at Canterbury, but instead of being back in the ruck today, it went to the front. It was on the bunny, and it was too good, but it was a good result for the captains, 6 to 4 to 5 to 2. Now we started getting into the serious business. The figures from here on in were pretty skinny, and I tell you what, weren't the captains poleaxed here? They carried us off the track here. There was one runner here, well, for a start, on the screen they said 96.6. Oh, terrible for the robots. Up where we were, in that marketplace, in the tough marketplace, playing the pros who had, well, they'll be having a very late supper tonight because they had a few beautiful large plates of this. Octavius I'm talking about. We actually only gave 89% in the marketplace. Now these were the flux. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas went from $4 to $10 on my board. I struck it for very little section. Passed the test. I had to get it to $8 before I laid 7,000 or 1,000 about it. It opened up $6 and got out to $8, but it started 7. Now the winner, Octavius, it was only $8.50, a 15 to 2 chance into $3.60, 15 to 2 to 5 to 2. Did a fortune on it. Arrowette, the next runner, resuming from a spell, a bit of a wet tracker. It opened up $6, $7, but it only started 6. There was money for it. It was hard to lay Lord Mitchell. It went up the $4 equal favourite with Merry Christmas, but it started $5. Layable for some section. The next runner, Beauty's Girl, well, it didn't have a price. It went up $12. I was a pony when they jumped. I was $26, 25 to 1. I think they said the best fluck was 18, but it was 26. I got a good bit of section out of it, but I had to get it to, well, I laid it all the way out to, I was 26 when they jumped. The next runner, Bold Interlude, well, it was hard to lay, although they took $7. It was $4.40 out to $7, back into $6.50. Now, the next runner, Clear War, it was 21 out to 61. I think I laid 6,100, started $41. And the bottom one, Cora de Noro, it was 50 out to 60, back into 40. Only about 89%. But there were runners like Merry Christmas who didn't have a price, and the winner was 15 to 2 to 5 to 2. Help! The bookies yelled, help! We're being robbed. Now the 6 race came along, and they said there was 105.3 on the screen, but there was only 98% in the marketplace. Now this winner, I like a fool, I gave $2.90. Someone had 3,000 on it with me, though, when they jumped at $2.90. It won like a 5 to 2 on chance. Well, Gypsy Ruler, it went from $5 out to $6, laid at one stage at $6 into $5.50. But when they jumped, it was $8 begging, and you couldn't get anybody to say a lemon on it, let alone a brick. And the next runner, we put it up $2.30, Ferrabacino. What happened to its last start? I know what happened. It was stripped from behind and it pulled up a little bit sore. It was coming back in distance today from 2,100 metres. Went up $2.30, got to $2.90, It started $2.80 on the track for whatever you wanted. Mr. Latar, it didn't have a price. It went from 11 out to 17. Suzanne, who got trapped 3 wide, poor girl, she got trapped 3 wide. It only went from $3.60 out to $5.50. I think the best luck was only 5. It was $5.50 when they jumped on my board. Couldn't lay it. Dicko's Dream, they said the best luck was about $10 or $11. I gave $13 over Dicko's Dream. It only started $11 or $10. Miss Opulence was $21 firm all the way. They said the best luck about the next run of Bo Colin was 31 or 61. Didn't ride, put his name in the ledger. 26 out to 61. Desert Melody, it was 17 out to 18, back into 17. Quite classy, very well backed this runner. $51 into 18. Oh, I wouldn't have been able to pay if it won. And the bottom one, Road to Rule, it was 31 into 26, only about 98. And who won the race? It trotted in. It went straight to the lead, Ferramachino. It put a little bit of pressure on it at one stage, Dicko's Dream. Being trapped 3 wide was Road to Rule outside it. But when he said go at the 600 metres, it left them standing, Ferramachino, and it trotted in by 4 lengths. The runner that was directly behind it on the fence, Quite Classy, who was extremely well backed, as I say, from 50 into 18, it couldn't keep up, and it was beaten 4 lengths, having every chance. Gypsy Ruler, it got into an awkward position. It missed the kick slightly, got into an awkward position back on the fence, as his price suggested, from $5 out to $8 at the death, and it was held up, had nowhere to go for a long way. It found the line all right, but it was beaten 6.1 lengths. Then we came to the lucky last, the Get Square Stakes. There was only 101.3 on the screen, but in the marketplace there was only 98%, and these were the flux. Tojo Star didn't have a price. $3, a 2-to-1 chance, out to $4.60. Tojo Star. They got trapped 3 wide, but it had cover, pulled up all right, missed the kick slightly and pulled slightly in the run. Wouldn't have mattered what happened, it wouldn't have won. That's Cricket. It went from 16 out to 21. The winner, Lee Beau Cheval, well, it opened up $8.50 and got to $9, but it only started 7. Extremely well backed, the winner. Just Like Zach went from $7 out to $8.50, back into $6.50. It was held up in the run, but it wouldn't have won even if it would have got clear, although it only got beat a half a length. So maybe with a little bit of luck, it might have won. Not by far. Swindle, it went from $12 out to 14. Mount Earnslaw, well, you had to go to $13 before you could lay it. It went from a 6-to-1 chance, $7 to $13, and someone had 12 monkeys off me as they jumped. Belegic, well, it was backed. It opened up $5, got out to $5.50, back into $4.60. The next runner, Centre Bell, it was back from $10 at opening price out to $11, back into $10. Malone didn't have a price from 26 to 31, and the bottom one, Stop the Nation, went from 26 out to 31 also. I think I might have got something out of the bottom one. The winner, as I say, was extremely well backed, and if you went off the top odds, it was hard to win on the race, because there were plenty of runners, as I say, that were unlayable in the race. It went straight to the lead, Stop the Nation from barrier 10, the outside alley, and leading early, it was inside at the winner, Le Beau Cheval, but he let Lel Grace, he rode a cracking race. He let Stop the Nation go around him, but then he got to the outside of it, and they never went hard. And when they turned for home, he was up outside the leader, and he was able to hold, once he got a 3/4 of a length break, was able to hold that margin down to the line. The margins were only 0.3 by 0.5, and as I say, it was held up slightly, Just Like Zach, maybe with a little bit of luck, and it could have won. And Mount Earnslaw was held up slightly as well, and there were a few other runners that had a couple of little excuses, but run this race over again a few times, and you would get a few different results. that was about the meeting. It was a tough school there, I tell you now, very hard to win. The pros had one large plate plus a few other lovely plates during the day. So it was very hard for the captains to get out surviving, and we unfortunately have got to try and get the section back on Saturday at Warwick Farm. Of course, there'll be 100 meetings on tomorrow, and the farm is on Saturday, so we will try and say a few words after the last there on Saturday. Good evening.